everybody, Brickhouse here, and my favorite punching bag as of late, that being the Walt Disney Company. Um, Not just my favorite. There's a few others out there that Disney's in the crosshairs, and the bad news just keeps on piling up. And I'm going to be here to cover it. Others are going to be here to cover it, and well, let's just dive right into it, shall we? Disney sees stock price target slashed by more than $30 amid box office failures and streaming woes. Now, I'm no financial analyst, I'm no rocket scientist, but when I see something like this, the alarm bells start going off. I'm sure the alarm bells are probably going off in Bob Iger's office right now. Holy crap, we're in some trouble. We're in some deep doo-doo. The Walt Disney Company saw its stock price target slashed by more than $30 from a Wells Fargo analyst who cited the troubled studio's many problems. Yeah, those problems are some pretty big ones in my opinion, including mounting box office failures and streaming losses. Adding to the downward pressure of the stock, the analyst also predicted Disney will have trouble selling off many of its cable and TV broadcast assets, which include ABC, FX, and National Geographic, as consumers continue to cut the cord by the millions, signaling the eventual demise of linear cable TV. Yeah, I mean, you have to look at it this way when it comes to Disney. You have the theme parks. You have the hotels, the resorts, you have the merchandise. Okay? Those things, yeah, revenues are down. Yeah, park traffic's down. But then the other half of the equation is television, movies, streaming, the other entertainment side of things, which you can lump in Marvel, Lucasfilm into that. And that also goes along with the cable TV stations, the linear cable broadcast TV stations, where the ad revenues are down. And so all these things together have gotten Disney to where it's at. Wells Fargo analyst Stephen Cahill cut his stock price target on Disney by $36 to $110 from $146. Now, I'm going to try to explain this, and I may mess this up horrifically. But pretty much what he's saying is that people that bought in at a stock price higher than $111 a share are pretty much screwed, because the stock is not going to hit what it once was just a couple of years ago. And I'll try to illustrate this the best I can. So Disney stock was on an upward trend, kind of, sort of, where pre-pandemic, it was at its peak, $151 a share. That was in November 2019. So we hit the pandemic and it bottomed out. And it bottomed out hard, down to $85 a share, $86 a share, somewhere in that range. So coming out of the pandemic, and keep in mind, this is when Disney Plus was launched. This is when streaming was a big deal, because nobody was going to the movies. Nobody was out doing other things for entertainment. And the stock just started to slowly climb up to a peak of $197 a share. But then what's happened since? What's happened since is you've had the battle with the state of Florida. You've had, what is it? 8 out of the last 9 movies released have been flops, have lost money. Streaming service, Disney Plus, losing subs, losing subscribers, huge losses in revenue. At one point, the fourth quarter of 2022, their losses were $1 billion. Just for Disney Plus alone. So now you fast forward the slow, precipitous decline over the last, what was the date on that? March 12th, 2021 is when the stock hit its high. Right now, today, as of right now, we're just at $81 a share. So the stock has lost half its value in the last 2+ years. So what they're saying is that right now, at $81 a share, they're saying the price target is essentially $111 a share. So those that got in above 111, they're toast. Unless there's a miraculous comeback, which it could come back. It could come back, but it's going to take years. So that's the stock. Now, John Nolte had an excellent article. The 6 biggest disasters hitting woke Walt Disney. And the news that the Disney stock price target has just been downgraded to a still optimistic $110 offers a perfect jumping off point to look at why. Number 1, stock price hit new lows. This article was written yesterday. Today, we're actually, the price is down a little bit right now. Up. Now, and right now it's 81.32. Just a little bit ago, it was showing it. Yeah, it did take a small dip. So we're at 81.32. So the stock is down. 5 days ago, it was at $84 a share. A month ago, it was at 90. A year ago, it was at 109. 2 years ago, it was almost 200. Another reason is we got a couple lawsuits out there. One of the lawsuits pertains to some of the, we'll say, the lack of transparency on Disney's part when it comes to D Plus and the revenues. Bob Iger's still maintaining that D Plus is going to be profitable come next year. Not going to happen. We have, as I said earlier, the box office bombs. I think it's 8 of the last 9 movies that have been released in theaters have bombed. That one shining light was Guardians 3, which evidently, you got to remember, James Gunn directed that, and that was the last of the old guard when it comes to Marvel movies. That movie was actually completed a couple years ago. Oh, and you can't, and as Nolte points out here, you can't forget about Snow White, new Snow White movie coming out. You know, Rachel Zegler, who hates Snow White's playing Snow White. Disney's facing barren theme parks. Yeah. Like I've said in other videos, the traffic at the theme parks is down. It's down to 2014 levels. I guess people don't want to see dudes dressed as princesses greeting their kids in stores at Disneyland and Disney World. Who'd have thunk it? D plus. We've talked about that before. D plus has lost millions and millions and millions and millions of subscribers. Not to mention, over the last 3 quarters, they've lost $2.2 billion. Again, how's D plus going to be profitable next year? It's not. And of course, you have the destruction of the brand, which that kind of ties into the tit for tat that Disney is in with the state of Florida. Also, destroying beloved properties like Star Wars, Indiana Jones. Marvel was great, phase 1 through phase 3, but then the MCU appeared in phase 4, and it's continuing in phase 5. Not to mention the fact that everything is tied to identity politics. And inserting your political views into what should be entertainment. When I go to a movie, I want to forget about what's going on in the real world for a couple hours. I want to be entertained. I want to be captivated by the characters and the story. I don't need to have some director's personal opinion interjected into a movie. Like, dare I say it, Barbie. So that's where we're at right now, folks, with Disney. Disney is on this downward spiral. I honestly, I don't see how Bob Iger can make it another 2 years as CEO. Except for the fact the board thinks he's doing a hell of a job. So that's all I have for right now. Comment down below, share your opinion, share your thoughts. What do you think about what's going on in Disney? While you're at it, please take the time to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell to get notified when my content becomes available here on YouTube. And as always, thanks for watching. I'll see you later.